Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Future Stars live on Hidayat TV. I'm your host Hassan Shah, and today we are just learning a little bit of fiqh today, and we are talking about taqwa and piety and how to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Before I continue, I'd like to introduce my guest.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Misbah.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Mohsin.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Hussain.
Thank you for the introduction. Like we do on every show, someone reads the surah, someone reads the translation. Misbah, you're reading the surah, and Mohsin, you're reading the translation. Okay, can we start them off with the last salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjum.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alam tara kayfa fa'ala rabbuka bi ashabil fil. Alam yaj'al kaydahum fi tadlilin wa arsala alayhim tayran ababil. Tarmihim bihijaratin min sijil. Faja'alahum ka'asfin ma'kul. Sadaqallahu al-aliyyul azim.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Has he not seen how the Lord dealt with the owners of the elephant? Did he not bring their statutory north and send against them swarms of flying creatures? We bagged them with stones of blade cave and made them like green crops devoured by cattle.
Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjum. Thank you, Mohsin and Misbah. And remember, if you're ever reading a surah, to learn the translation with it, because you understand the history behind it and how to implement it into your life. Okay, so today we're talking about taqwa, aren't we? So do any of you know what taqwa kind of means? A little translation for anyone.
Means to stop like sins and
keeping sins from dragging your from protect you from sins.
Yeah, protecting you from sins. What else? One word I'm looking for. Beginning with
Repenting.
P.
Piety.
Yeah, piety. It kind of means like piety, to be pious. And to gain taqwa, you have to be pious, don't you? Yeah. So before we continue, can we have a salawat in honor of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him?
Allahumma salli ala
Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjum. And a second in honor of our first Imam Ali alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjum. And a third with our loudest voices in honor of the Imam of our time, Imam Sahib al-Asri wa Zaman. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjum. Okay, Mohsin, you have the first part of today's show, so can we start him again with another loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjum.
Obstinance, self-restraint and piety are among those important virtues about which we see many verses and narrations. This safeguarding or protection is possible in two ways: by keeping oneself at a safe distance from the environment of sin; two, by installing our heart such power whereby we get spiritual and moral protection. So if we happen to be in an environment that supplies means of sinning and disobedience, this power protects our soul from that disease, and as if we have vaccinated ourselves. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjum. Thank you, Mohsin. Okay, so what he said, there's 2 points there. What was one of the points that he said? Mohsin?
That taqwa keeps us away from doing sins. It stops us from doing bad deeds, and
and it helps us to recognize what's wrong and right. That's right. So I think it's with piety and being all that, you'll eventually gain the power to see, like like the Imams and the holy prophets, how they all knew wrong and right and all of these things. So you'll be able to tell for yourself which thing is wrong and right, and have more control over your over the power of yourself. Is to do, not to do those wrong things, but to do that you have to be really pious, and you have to also help people and do a few things that we're going to say in today's show. What was the second thing you said?
To protect the heart from like sins.
Yeah, by installing some power into yourself, so you can protect your heart from all these sins. And Mohsin described these sins as what? What did he describe them as?
Like a disease.
Yeah, disease for your soul. You know how I don't know if you saw this, but some people give an example by they put like a cup of water down, and they like get some black ink and put it in a little bit, and then it slowly, when you put a little bit, there's a little bit there. If you put a little more, then it can spread and go through the whole thing.
They do it with the white cloth as well.
Yeah, I think Hussein has seen it. So and it's like a disease as well, how it goes into your body, makes you feel ill and does all these bad stuff to you. So these are just two examples, and Mohsin described it as a disease because it is like we get diseases in our body. It's a disease for our soul, because it can
spreads.
Yeah, it spreads and it does really bad stuff. So when you go after you passed away, then Allah says, why have you done these bad things? And those are the diseases in your soul. Those are the bad things, the sins. So thank you, Mohsin. Mohsin, you've got the second part as well. So can we start, Mohsin, off with the loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjahum.
Here we discuss the second kind of piety, which is also understood from various verses of the Holy Quran. One made a devotion, for surely the devotion is guarding of oneself and be careful of your duty to me. Men of understanding. Two, whoever fulfills his promise will and guards against evil, then surely Allah loves those who guard against evil. 3. Be careful of your duty to Allah with the care which is due to Him, and not die unless you are Muslim. Some of our great commentators, while explaining this ayah, have been the demand of taqwa is the highest loftiest of piety that includes refraining from all kind of sins and disobedience and deviation from truth. Taqwa is therefore a shield which requires polishing when we do which Allah wants, and remain from that which He dislikes. It strengthens our taqwa.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjahum. Thank you, Mohsin. Okay, so first of all, we talked about this first part of piety that we were talking about, which to stay away from evil, and it helps us. This type of piety. What was the second type of piety that Mohsin was talking about? Mohsin?
The second sort of piety is like doing your duty and doing like what you have been set down on the earth, your duty to do what's right.
Yeah, that's right. So the first type of piety that we talked about was this is to gain taqwa, to restrain from evil and going away from these things and learning wrong from right. And the second one, which was another part to gain this taqwa, to make you more stronger in yourself, is to do the things that you are supposed to do. So the actions that you that you should do daily. So like praying, helping people. These are all actions that you should do, and that will help you gain taqwa. And Mohsin talked about some people, that people who practice and know these sort of things, like scholars. And Mohsin explained what they thought about this. Mohsin mentioned a verse as well in the whole Quran in there, and he talked about people who knew this understanding. So hope you listen to that. Okay, saying you've got the next thing. So can we start us off with the loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjahum.
Imam Sadiq says, piety is that you obey Allah constantly and never disobey and never indulge in a sin. Always remember Him and never forget Him, and be thankful to Him for His bounties and never remain ungrateful to Him. Amir al-Mu'mineen has said, piety is the top of morals. It is mentioned in the will of the Holy Prophet ﷺ for Ali O Ali, the one who does not have three things has nothing. 1. Piety that prevents him from sinning. 2. Good behavior that results in nice relations with people. And 3. Tolerance that removes the ignorance or the ignorant. We learn from the above and similar other narrations that taqwa and abstinence are not just refraining from sin and disobedience, but they are far beyond. They are the quality of the soul that prevents a person from doing wrong even when he has the chance to do so. So what?
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjahum. Thank you, Saint. So Hussein mentioned the narration from Imam Sadiq. He mentioned a narration from there, and he also mentioned in the will of the Holy Prophet, which was the part which Imam Ali was given, saying that about these three things, which piety was at the top of. So this shows how taqwa, and Hussein mentioned there as well, that piety is really important, because once you gain this taqwa, what did Hussein said? What did Hussein say about that? Any of you remember?
What's that? When you gave it, when you become like pious, you get taqwa.
Yeah, and also because this taqwa will, when you have even the chance to do wrong, you won't do it, because you're smart enough by that time. So taqwa is really important, isn't it? To help us restrain against these things, because you have the chance to do it, but for yourself you really don't care about it, to do those bad things. Yourself is only trying to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Miss, you've got the next thing. So can we start, Mr. Off with the loud salawat?
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjahum.
It is recorded that Imam Sadiq ﷺ has said, make taqwa your habit and protect your religion with abstinence. Similarly, he has also said, it is essential that you, without speaking, invite others to Islam through the fear of God, and abstinence and endeavour and truthfulness in talk and trustworthiness and good behavior with the neighbours and with everybody. That is, your attitude, O Shias, must be such that your opponents make incline and toward your creed and be adoration for us, and do not make us feel ashamed. Amir al-Mu'mineen al-Islam says, O servants of God, fear of Allah takes the pious away from doing the prohibited and makes their hearts a place of precaution in such a way that they remain awake in nights talking with their Lord Creator as they fast during hot days. Amir al-Mu'mineen al-Islam has also said, thanks for every bounty. It is a refrain from what Allah has prohibited. This means that if you stop yourself from what Allah has prohibited, then that is a way to thank Allah for all He has given you. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil farjahum.
Thank you for that, Miss. But okay, so can one of you tell me what did Miss first say? Any of you remember?
She quoted Imam Sadiq.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So what was the main point that she was talking about? Can you remember? So she first of all quoted Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. We're talking about a lot of narrations, aren't we?
Yeah.
So this just shows how piety and taqwa is really important, isn't it? The Prophet has mentioned it in his will, and Imam Sadiq has mentioned it a lot of times, hasn't he? Like Misbah was saying. So Misbah, can you tell us one of the main points that you're talking about in that? Can you remember?
Like make that taqwa your like habit.
Yeah, making taqwa your habit is really important. So you keep up, and like Moses said, that taqwa is your shield, but you have to keep polishing it, like Moses said. So you have to keep it, make it a habit that you keep this taqwa, so you can tell between wrong and right. So if you have a chance to do wrong, you still do the right thing. So thank you for that, Misbah. Okay, Hussein, have you got the next thing? So can we start with off with the loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farjum.
Consequences of taqwa. A. Clear-sightedness. As a result of piety, all you who believe, if you are careful of your duty to Allah, He will grant you a distinction, a light that will make it possible for you to distinguish truth from untruth. And whoever is careful of his duty to Allah, He will make for him an outlet and give him sustenance from when he thinks not. And whoever is careful of his duty to Allah, He will make easy for him his affair, and he careful of your duty to Allah. Allah teaches you. When we try to attain success, there are times when we get confused. It becomes easy for a man to get rid of the confusion if he recognizes what is truth and what is falsehood, good and bad, friend and foe, useful and harmful, and of fortune and misfortune. Curtains for thus greed, passion, selfishness, and excessive love of any person, position, and status hinder our intelligence, and that is what really confuses us. We understand from the Holy Quran that only the light of taqwa can remove the darkness, so that we can easily recognize the real situation and see everything very clearly. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farjum. Thank you, Hussein. So Hussein was talking about the results of taqwa. So what happens when you gain this, when you have this power of taqwa, this controlment of yourself and this piety? So he was saying that you get clear sight, meaning what? Not that if you were wearing glasses then you get 20/20 vision. So what did he mean by clear sight?
It means that you can tell the difference between stuff, like what is right, what is wrong. You just know, and you can see what can influence you, like what is harmful, what is useful.
Yeah, and also when you have the chance to do wrong, you still don't do that wrong and you still do the right. So that's a very important thing, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Miss, but you've got the next thing, so can we start, Mr. off with the loud salawat? Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farjum.
Perfection and wisdom as a result of piety. When Imam, in the light of taqwa, gets more near to Allah by avoiding sin, he acquires a big beauty of awareness and wisdom. He gets closer to perfection and to the source of knowledge and wisdom. In the course of human history, we find men and women who were pious. In them we see such an extraordinary knowledge and wisdom that is impossible to acquire through common avenues of education. They were able to recognize a number of calamities that were rooted in the folds of chaotic social conditions. They saw the heinous faces of enemies through the thousands of deceptive veils. As a proof of this, we give here some narrations. 1. A believer sees with the light of God. 2. Beware the intelligence of a faithful. 3. Be cautious of the guess and imagination of the faithful, because thy Lord Almighty makes their tongues tell only the truth. Salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa ajil fajr. Thank you, Misbah. Okay, so what was Misbah talking about there? Any of you, Mohsin?
You're talking about Allah only speaks the truth. He doesn't tell lies.
Yeah, and what was Allah talking about there?
He was.
Misbah, can you remember? Any of you?
You were saying that she was saying that what taqwa like can do for you, and
Yeah, she was showing, like saying the results of this taqwa and how it can improve you, and what else, Miss? Were you going to say anything?
Like beware the what will happen like if with your piety and wisdom it helps.
Yeah, it helps, definitely, and it can tell this difference between wrong and right. And Allah was saying that it actually it helps you get closer to Him, doesn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, but because you can tell this difference between things, and especially in how do you think now it's really good to have taqwa? How do you think like nowadays, why is it really good to have taqwa?
Because there's so many things that is bad, but you don't see it as bad.
Yeah, and it could these
Influence
few
you,
things
like-
can influence you, but if you have taqwa, you can learn ahead of from this, and find out result what will happen to you if you do this.
And you won't be influenced by the badness.
Yeah, you won't be influenced by the badness, and even if you have a chance to do wrong, you still don't do the wrong and you do the right thing. Okay, so usually what do we do?
Quiz.
A quiz, just to test your knowledge. So how much do you think you can get out of this? Out of 100%? Mohsin thinks 100 as always. You're saying?
9.99999.
99,
99.999.
because I was thinking 9. So Misbah, what do you think?
99.
99, okay. So there's 5 questions and these are fill in the blank ones. If there's a question with 2 blanks, you get 2 points for that question. But say for if Mohsin does 1 blank and Misbah does the other, you'll get 2 separate points, okay? Okay, number 1. Taqwa means to blank the heart from whatever drags us toward Hussein?
Protect.
Protect the heart. 2. One way to practice taqwa is by keeping oneself at a safe blank from environmental sin. Mohsin?
Can you repeat the question?
One way to practice taqwa is by keeping oneself at a safe blank from the environment of sin.
Safe.
Give you a clue, begins with a D. Misbah?
Distant.
Distance, okay. So Misbah is saying you've got 1 point. Okay, number 3. The other way is by installing our heart such a blank that prevents us from blank sins, even. Let me finish the question. Even in the atmospheric sins. Mohsin? So the first one, the other way is by installing our heart such a blank that prevents us.
Such a piety.
No. It begins with a P. Hussein?
Power.
Power. Okay. Such a power that prevents us from blank sins, even in the environment of sin.
Can you repeat it again?
That prevents us from blank sins, even in the environment of sin. Mohsin?
That prevent us from doing bad.
No, not bad.
Evil.
No.
Piety.
What happens when you get sick? What is it called?
Disease.
Yeah, disease.
Oh,
Okay, I'll give that to Mohsin. So how many points? You're saying you got 2. Mohsin, you got 1. Misbah, you got 1. Okay, we're on question number 4 now. Blank as a result of piety refers to the ability to recognize the truth. Hussein? Taqwa. So you got 3. So Misbah, Mohsin is against you to get second place. So you can stay out this. So Just let them answer the question so we can decide who gets second because Hussein has already won. Number 5. Perfection and wisdom as a result of piety refers to the intelligence gained because of being closer to blank. Mohsin?
God.
Yeah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And at the end of that, Hussein is in first place with 3 points, Mohsin is in second place with 2 points, I missed but sadly in last place with 1 point. But just remember, you're all winners, and I hope you learned a lot from today's show. Have you?
Yeah.
And I hope you lot at home as well has learned a lot from today's show, learning about taqwa and piety and how to get this taqwa and how it brings you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we'll see you next week, and to actually get there, and when you actually do these sins and help you get rid of these sins, what is one thing that you can do? Begins with the R.
Repent.
Yeah, repentance. And we'll be talking about repentance next week, hopefully. So we'll see you next week, same time, same place on Hidayat TV. But until then, good Hafiz.